Chapter 2, Lesson 1 and 2, Fractions. In these lessons we're going to talk about improper fractions and mixed numbers. So a fraction is showing a part of a whole number. Here's a pizza, and there's 8 pieces, and there's still 8 pieces remaining because we haven't touched it. So we have 8 out of the 8 pieces remaining, which equals 1 whole. Okay, we still have 1 whole pizza. Now there's 3 pieces missing. So out of the 8 pieces of pizza, I ate 3 of them. So I had 3/8 of the pizza. So that is representing a whole number. There were 8 pieces. I ate 3, so I ate 3/8 of the pizza. Now I could also say, because I ate 3/8 of the pizza, there is still 5 pieces left. So there's still 5/8 of the pizza remaining, still showing you part of a whole. So before I ate 3/8, and there's 5/8 left. This is what a fraction is, representing a whole number. Now a fraction, the top number is always bigger than the bottom number. Now we're not going to say top number and bottom number. We're going to call them by what the math calls them and what they're going to be used to seeing in their homework and test. The top number is called a numerator, and the bottom number is called a denominator. So these are the terms we're going to be calling the fractions. When I'm talking about a numerator, we're talking about the top number, and a denominator talking about the bottom number. Now we're also going to call the top number Jack. And I'll explain that once we get to lesson 2. Now a fraction should always look like this. A numerator should always be smaller than the denominator. This is a proper fraction. This is how they should look like. When the numerator is bigger than the denominator, this is called an improper fraction. And we can't have that because it's improper. The numerator should never be bigger than the denominator. It should always look like, whoops, there you go. Should always look like this, a proper fraction. Here I have 4 boxes. If I color in one of the boxes, I can say 1/4 of the boxes are colored. This is something they'll see in part of their homework tonight. So 1/4. If I color in 3 boxes, now I can go and say 3/4 of the boxes are colored in. We can also find fractions on a number line. For example, they'll have a question that might have a dot right here, and they want to know what fraction is it. Well, all we got to do is count the lines. We always start with the smallest line first in front of the number, so we don't start with the 0. So we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we're counting all these lines as 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know this says 1, but we're starting and counting the lines to represent a fraction. So because I know there's 5 lines, that's going to be my denominator. And right here, the second line. So this number line will represent 2/5. All they have to do is count the lines to see what the denominator is, and then count again to see where the dot is and what it represents. So their homework, what they're going to have to do is, the first part, draw a shaded model for each fraction. So they're going to do what it says, just like it shows up here. For example, number 1 says 2/3. You're just going to draw 3 boxes and color in 2 of the boxes to represent 2/3. number 4, 5, and 6, it says draw a number line and show the position of each fraction. So no, number 4 is kind of what we just did. We'll have the number line 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll probably have to label it and put the dot right there to represent a number line and a fraction. So there's 5 lines, and the second one is shaded. Number 7 and 8, it says draw a model to show each fraction as a division expression. Write the division expression. Okay, well, these are improper fractions, so let's go back and talk about what we have to do to change it from a improper fraction to a mixed number. And actually, we're not going to worry about that part, so they don't have to do 7 and 8 because it's not what I want them to know for the test or for the end of the year test at the STARS, so we won't worry about that until we get to lesson 2. So let's go on to lesson 2. Okay, lesson 2, we're going to talk about mixed numbers and improper fractions. So like I showed you before, this is a proper fraction and this is an improper fraction. Now we have to change the improper fraction to a mixed number. And remember when I showed you that this is called the numerator, but we're also going to call him Jack? That's because I want them to remember that the top number goes in the box, Jack in the box, when we're dividing and trying to find a mixed number. So this is how we're going to change an improper fraction to a mixed number. So we have 8/5. This is an improper fraction. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. So this is really saying 8 divided by 4. I mean, no division sign there. 8 divided by 5, sorry. So that's why I said we call the numerator also Jack in case we have to do this. Jack in the box. The numerator will go in the box. Now we just do 5 into 8 goes 1 time. 8 minus 5 is 3. We have a remainder of 3. We don't add zeros. We don't do anything to this. This is going to be our answer. So we have 1. 3 is going to be the numerator. And 5 will stay as the denominator. The denominator does not change. It's always going to be the same. So whatever the denominator is when you first start, it's going to be your denominator when you come up with your answer. So 1 3/5 is the answer for this problem. Let's try 7/6. 7 is the numerator, 6 is the denominator. We have to divide 7 divided by 6. So the numerator is going to be called Jack, so remember Jack in the box. 6 into 7 goes 1 time. 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 is going to be my numerator, and my denominator stays the same, 1 and 1/6. Let's take a look at their homework. Number 1 just says to put in the missing fractions. This is pretty easy because the denominator is going to be 6, and we're just looking for the missing fraction. So this one is going to be 1 and 1/6, 2 and 2/6, and then this one here is going to be 3/6, and so on. So let's look at number 2, 15 over 4. So 15 divided by 4 because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. It's an improper fraction. 4 into 15 goes 3 times. 15 minus 12 is 3. So my 3, my remainder, is going to be my numerator, and my denominator is going to stay the same, 4. So number 2, the answer is 3 3/4. And that's what they're doing for number 3, 4, and 5. And if it goes in evenly, then that's fine. For example, if you had a problem like 12 over 3 and 12 divided by 3, and 3 goes in 12 4 times, then the answer would just be 4. So if you have a problem that goes in evenly, you could have a whole number as an answer. It doesn't have to always be a mixed number. Now when we have a mixed number, sometimes we're going to have to change that into an improper fraction. We have to go backwards. So the way to do that is you're just going to go clockwise in a circle. You're going to go 5 times 1, the denominator times the whole number, plus the numerator. The denominator plus the whole number, times the whole number, plus the numerator. 5 times 1 plus 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, and your denominator stays the same. Just like when we changed it from an improper fraction to a mixed number, your denominator stays the same. Here we have 2 2/5. And we'll go clockwise in the circle. 5 times 2 plus 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12 over 5. So 5 times 2 plus 2 gives us 12, and your denominator stays the same. So let's look at number 6 through 9. If you just went to the end of the video, you missed me doing some of the problems from number 2 through 5. So number 6, 7, 8, and 9. For number 7, it says 3 1/3. So we're just going to go 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 10. 10 over 3. And that's your answer for number 7. So you're just going the denominator plus the whole number times the whole number plus the numerator. Try one more. Number 9, 2 7/8. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 7 is 23, and your denominator stays the same. Notes are available online as well, and you'll be getting those when we start the new lesson.